A very good evening to all our viewers and welcome to a brand new edition of News First Weekend coming to you live from our News First studios in Colombo. I'm Arundhati Mudanayaka. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening. Companies involved in importing waste material point the fingers at each other. Civil organizations question the delay in implementing the law. Dharma Yuddha judged the most popular program that earned the most number of views at the Presidential Cinema Awards ceremony. Dharma Yuddha! Prime Minister engaged in religious observances in India. Former Minister Marvin visits Vijitapura Fort. Lassit Malinga's retirement. And now the stories in detail. Salon Metal Processing Corporation, that has been accused of importing garbage to Sri Lanka, convened a media briefing in Colombo.
The 111 containers, why has it not been cleared from the port?
This comes through anti-port trade and it's done in a free zone. So technically we do not have direct access to clear or process, though we are the cargo owners.
But we are told that these 111 containers are directly, you are the consignee, so it has come directly to you, not through Hades.
I think we'll have to go into more details and it's beyond my domain.
If I can explain to you, it belongs to him. He's a consignee, he's the one who owns the container contents. But the contents he is not allowed to touch because it is not consigned to Sri Lanka, it's for re-export. So since it's for processing and re-export, the contents of that containers cannot be brought into Sri Lanka, only into a free zone. So the free zone is operated by, the free zone we are working with, operator that we are working with, is Advantis Hales.
It's the responsibility of Hades and nothing to do with it.
No, we are partners in this. So they are doing the processing on our behalf and we are paying them for it. It's a contract.
What about the containers which are at the Hades facility?
I'm not aware because we don't have access to that because it's a free zone and that is answered by Hales. It's not my domain of operations.
Although Salon Metal Processing Corporation Limited claims that their containers only contain used mattresses and carpets, this footage reveals the truth. Journalists also raised questions regarding the UK-based supplier that shipped these garbage containers to Sri Lanka.
In the West, in UK, there is a registered supplier which is controlled by the UK's EA-governed regulations.
I'm asking, who is your provider?
There's one designated provider.
The supplier, the individuals who refrained from revealing themselves during the media briefing, is a UK-based company named Vanguard Limited. Company documents confirm that an individual named Vegadasan Muthuramar, a shareholder of Vanguard Limited, also serves as the director of Salon Metal Processing Corporation Limited. Against such a backdrop, where everyone continues to pass the buck, law enforcement seems to be stagnant. It has been 3 weeks since the garbage crisis was first exposed by Newsfirst on the 6th of this month. However, to date, what measures have been taken by the Board of Investment of Sri Lanka, the Central Environmental Authority and the Sri Lanka Customs to address this issue?
These three organizations are now passing the buck to each other. There seems to be no owner for these garbage containers. In that case, was it the general public who imported these garbage containers? An investigation in this regard is currently underway in the UK. However, ironically, a proper investigation in Sri Lanka has not taken place. We suspect that the Central Environmental Authority and the relevant law enforcement institutions are remaining silent on this matter as they have been intimidated with money.
අපිට සැකයක් මතුවෙනවා.
දැන් අම්මෙක් අප්පෙක් නැති කුණුතොගයක් මේ රට.
It seems that these garbage containers with no proper owner will remain in the country. In that sense, I would like to ask the government, is it the public who should take ownership of these garbage containers? Behind the importation of these garbage containers is money laundering, amounting to trillions. Ranil Wickremesinghe and Malik Samaravikrama attempted to facilitate importation of garbage through the Singapore Free Trade Agreement. At present, Mutturajawala is being destroyed due to garbage imported by wealthy businessmen. Behind this garbage issue are three prominent politicians. There are indications that this process aims to increase the country's income generation.
මේ කුණු ගෙනල්ලා රටේ ආදායම පියව ගන්න හදන වගේ වැඩක්.
Harry's Free Zone responded to the views expressed during the media briefing convened by Salon Metal Processing Corporation Private Limited.
From the day one, our position with regard to this matter has been that we are not the cargo owner for this cargo which is lying in Free Zone as well as lying in Port of Colombo. The ownership of the cargo was very clearly established by the actual cargo owner yesterday at a press conference that they had. Their freight forwarder, ETL Colombo Private Limited, also has established the fact that, and this was done 2 days ago at a press conference. In terms of the cargo at the Free Zone, as a first step, what we have now done is we have stuffed this cargo into containers and they will be reprocessed, and with the support of the cargo owner, they will be re-exported, shipped back, which was the purpose that it was brought in for.
An accident took place along the Gaul-Mathura main road in Pamburana this afternoon when 5 vehicles clashed against one another.
CCTV footage reveals how a van commuting from Mathura to Gaul crashed into 4 parked vehicles. A passenger in the motor vehicle sustained injuries in the accident.
The 19th Presidential Cinema Awards ceremony was held under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena at the Nelumpokuna Theatre in Colombo last evening.
With 11 Purogami Awards, Swarna Singha Awards and the Vishwakirti Award. Dasun Pathirana received the award for Best Actor in 2016 for his performance in the movie Motorbicycle, presented by M Entertainment for Sirasa Movies.
What is upgraded? What is upgraded?
The award for Best Supporting Actress for the year 2016 was awarded to both Aruni Rajapaksa, featured in the movie Pattini, and Veena Jayakodi for her performance at the movie Motorbicycle.
Motorbicycle චිත්‍රපටයේ රංගනය වෙනුවෙන් වීනා ජයකොඩි රංගවේදිනිය සහ පත්තිනි චිත්‍රපටයේ රංගනය වෙනුවෙන් අරුණි රාජපක්ෂ රංගන ශිල්පිනිය මේ මොහොතේදී සම සම්මානයෙන් පිදුම් ලබනවා ඇති. 2016 वर्षे සඳහා කුසලතා සම්මානය හිමි කරගන්නේ Motorbicycle චිත්‍රපටයේ රංගනය වෙනුවෙන් කලන ගුණසේකර.
In addition, Samanali Fonseca was awarded the Special Jury Award for her performance in the movie Motorbicycle, and Kalana Gunasekara was awarded a Merit Award. Jailat Manoratna was awarded the Special Jury Award for his performance in the A-level movie presented by M Entertainment for Sirasa Movies in 2017. Sachira Vijay Singha was awarded a Merit Award for his role in the movie A-level, while Vinumi Vinsadi was also awarded a Jury Evaluation Certificate for her role in the film Dharma Yuddha. David Karunaratne received a jury certificate for his performance in the movie Goal produced by M Entertainment, and Naina Darshani Pereira was awarded the President's Award at the Presidential Awards ceremony. The award for the most popular and spoken movie of 2017 was awarded to Dharma Yuddha, produced by MTV.
2017 වර්ෂයේ උපරිම ප්‍රේක්ෂක ප්‍රතිචාර ලැබූ චිත්‍රපටයට හිමි ජනාධිපති සම්මානයෙන් පිදුම් ලබන්නේ ධර්ම යුද්ධ.
ඒ තමයි පක්ෂ ලේකම්තුමියගේ එකම පුතා. දැන් මාසෙකට කිට්ටුවෙන් එනවා ආගියදක් නැහැ.
මේ ළමයා ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ගෙදර ආවද අගෝස්තු 2 වෙනිදා?
නෑ. එදා අපි ගෙදර හිටියේ නෑ සර්. බඩ් එකම ආනන්ද හාමුදුරන්ගේ භාවනා වැඩසටහනට ගියා.
ඔකරෙන් වෙනවා.
ධර්ම යුද්ධය වෙනුවෙන් මහරජා එන්ටර්ටේන්මන්ට් ආයතනය උපරිම ප්‍රේක්ෂක ප්‍රතිචාර ලැබූ සිනමා කෘතිය වෙනුවෙන් 2017 සම්මාන.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe is currently on a tour in India.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and Maitri Wickremesinghe, who are currently touring India, visited the Sri Mugambika temple in Kollur and attended the Nava Chandika Yaga that was held at the temple premises. Indian media reported that Prime Minister Wickremesinghe had visited the temple and had previously participated in religious observances in November of 2017. The Indian Express reported that security was beefed up at the temple premises and a limited crowd was permitted to participate in the religious observances.
Parliamentarian Ramesh expressed the following views about the Prime Minister's visit to India.
They might have different beliefs and different intentions in mind. In the current situation, not even the gods can help Ranil Wickremesinghe. When you see the number of people rallying against him, we are not surprised that he had turned towards the gods for help. We doubt that even the gods will save him after all the crimes he has committed to the nation.
These views were expressed in the political arena today about the presidential candidacy.
During our group meeting, several MPs, including myself, proposed that the deputy leader of the UNP, Minister Sajid Premadasa, should be put forward as the presidential candidate. Our leader was put forward as the presidential candidate twice, but he lost both times. I believe we have now got the opportunity to win. We held discussions with leaders of minority parties, and their request is to put forward Sajid Premadasa as the presidential candidate.
අපේ සන්දාන රැස්වීමක් තියෙනවා 5 වෙනිදා. සන්දානයේ කට්ටිය එකතු වුණාට පස්සේ තමයි තීරණයක් වෙන්නේ. ඒක නෑ කවුරු. මේක මේ සජිත් අමරතුමා ඉන්නවද? 5-6 දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා.
There are about 5 to 6 names. Our Prime Minister Karu Jayasuriya, Minister Sajid Premadasa, Champika Ranawaka and Navin Disanayake are also there. Names come and go. We have no idea what happens.
දිසානායක මැතිතුමා ඉන්නවා. එනවා කියන කොහේ යනවද දන්නේ නැහැ.
Some may say Sajid Premadasa is good and some may have negative comments about him. However, my stance is that there is no point in me doing politics without Sajid Premadasa. Today, we, as well as the public, face several issues due to the actions of certain leaders and their failures to implement certain decisions. This is not a country that should facilitate the appointment of the elder brother as president and his younger siblings as prime minister. Even during the parliamentary group meeting, I witnessed everyone speaking about Sajid Premadasa.
The joint opposition signed an MOU with 11 other political parties. 3 of the 11 parties previously supported the party symbolized by the swan in January.
One individual who signed yesterday is a former governor and MP. His son is the UNP organizer in Habaradua. They will not receive any votes even from his own family. Wait and see the parties that will join us. We have the people's mandate. We can even win if we contest as a single party. However, the opposition cannot even win a seat if they ever contest without an alliance. I challenge them to win one seat.
As the countdown begins for the presidential election, the leaders of this nation are blinded by the greed of remaining in power or gaining power. Against such a backdrop, they turn a blind eye to the struggles of the people of the country. In our journey giving voice to the voiceless, Aagama and the team came across people whose everyday lives are upward battles.
A village situated on the outskirts of Kotmale is posed with the risk of being cut off from the town. The bridge that is the only road that connects this village to the main city dangerously sways in the wind. Vatadara is the last remaining village in Kotmale. This bridge was built in 1984 by the Ministry of Mahavali Development. There is no sign of modification to this bridge since then. The villagers in Vatadara have a bus. They still opt to travel on foot. That is owing to the fact that the bridge dangerously sways in the wind. Thereby, the villagers would rather walk than risk traveling in the bus on this swaying bridge. They have to walk 5 kilometers to board a bus. The bus leaves Navangama at 6 a.m. If the villagers have a function in the night, they still have to leave early in the morning. The villagers are exhausted collecting the falling pieces of the Vatadara bridge. The ancient temple that was built in the time of King Dutugamunu in Pusul is slowly fading into history as a result of the negligence of the authorities. The ancient temple is situated in Navangama Pusulpitiya in Kotmale. Folklore says that as a prince, Dutugamunu, from the age of 12 to 29, spent most of his time in this holy site. History stands to say that this is where King Dutugamunu's coronation ceremony took place. It is also believed that the sacred tooth relic was hidden to prevent in falling into the clutches of the invaders. The temple is known as the Dalada Sapua. The chief prelate asks that this sacred site be protected for the future generations. Seeing an ancient holy site crumble and fade into nature broke the hearts of all the Gammatha team members.
A teacher takes a hand, opens a mind and touches a heart. This is the story of G.L. Veeraratna, who goes the extra mile to ensure that his students will have a brighter future.
The use of the lamp is not something unusual for these villagers, as this was incorporated into their lives over 2.5 years ago. To ensure their children have a bright future, the villagers wake up before the light of dawn to take their children to school. The Veerasekara College in Pollamura begins at 5 a.m. and the English class that all students participate is held until 7 a.m. The brainchild of this class is the school's English teacher, G.L. Veeraratna. Ajanta Udugoda, a member of the non-academic staff of the college, supports him in this task.
එතුමා උදේ පාන්දර 3:00ට විතර ගෙදරින් නැගිටලා බයිසිකලේ මෙතනට ඇවිදින්න මේ පාසල පටන් ගන්නවා 5 වෙද්දී.
එතුමා 7:05. He doesn't charge the parents even a cent for conducting these classes. He doesn't even have his breakfast. He eats with the children and that is how he carries out the academic activities in school.
අධ්‍යාපන කටයුතු දරුවන්ට ගෙන යන්නේ. This is a boy school. At least there is not a staff room for the teachers. Actually, they can speak in English very well. That's the main thing is speaking. That means it is very essential for our future also.
This small school has obtained the first place in both district and provincial level and now is competing among international schools.
There are only 2 children whose parents are government servants. The rest of the 126 are coming from poor families. I thought that I should do some service to this school. Even though we are a poor school, we do not beg from anyone. Out of the 10,000, we came as the 5th. We were awarded with a medal and certificate. Our children have the ability to converse with a student from any international school and national school in the country.
The students in this school use different techniques in order to improve their fluency.
We went a trip to speak with tourists and we write letters to foreigners. They gave a reply to us.
Other than that, there are several playhouses situated in the village. There is another teacher who teaches us English.
Teachers like this could not only transform the nearest school into the best school, but have the capability to turn the nearest school into a university.
My school is Sarvirasekara Vidyalaya.
Also in local news, 2 national youth corps training centres were opened by Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Minister Sajith Premadasa, in Lunugambera and Veerawila under the Samata Sahana programme today.
Funds have been provided by the Ministry of National Police's Economic Affairs, Resettlement and Rehabilitation, Northern Province Development and Youth Affairs. Around 200 million rupees has been spent on the project. The Ministry of Housing, Construction and Cultural Affairs said in a statement that about 200 youth will be facilitated with residential facilities throughout their academic years in vocational studies. We are attempting to create a bright light in this misleading, corrupted society. We will introduce a new agenda to the youth of this country. I am proud to announce that we will definitely introduce a bill in Parliament to bring in a program that is legally strengthened and that will give all the privileges that should be given to the youth of this nation.
Former Minister Marvin Silva engaged in an observational tour in the Vijitapura fort today.
The former minister engaged in the tour following claims that a plot of land adjacent to the Vijitapura fort was cleared and used for cultivation. Subsequently, the minister also inspected a quarry constructed adjacent to the ancient caves.
තුගැමුණු මහරජතුමා දොරටු 4න් හදාගෙන ආපු එක දොරටුවක් මේ. මේක මුම් මේක නැගිර දැන් දොරටුවේ මුම් ගල් කුඩු කරනවා. මේක අයිතිකාරයකට මම ඇඟිල්ල දික් කරලා කියනවා දබර ඇඟිල්ල දික් කරලා සරමත් ටිකක් මෙන්න මේ මුස්සගෙන මම රුහුනේ කරුණාකරලා මේක නවත්තපල්ලා ඊළඟ දවසට මේක මං එනකොට ක්‍රියාත්මක වුණොත් තොපි මම කුදලාගෙන මං ගිහලා පොලිසියට බාර දෙනවා. එච්චරයි මගේ රාජකාරිය. ඒකෙන් මේ දැන් මේ ගම විනාශ වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. තාම කිසි පක්ෂයකට ගිහිල්ලා නැහැ. ඉන්න මම යනවනම් යන්නේ රනිල් කුරුසක මැතිතුමාගේ නායකත්වයේ එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයට පමණයි. රනිල් මහත්තයා මට කිව්වොත් ඵලයන් අනුරාධපුරයට ඵලයන් කාත්තාන්කුඩි ඕන තැනකට යනවා. ඕගොල්ලෝගේ වාසනාවට අනුරාධපුරේ මට හම්බුණොත් තුගැමුණු නවත්තපු තැනින් සොච්චමක් හරි කරන්න මං එන්නේ.
Today marks the 3rd year since the commencement of Suwasaria ambulance service in Sri Lanka. The ceremony was held with a young boy who benefited from the service on the very first day it started.
The moment you hear 1990, you think of the Suwasaria ambulance service. The service that covers the entire island free of charge commenced on the 27th of July 2016. The day was marked with little Yasiru, who was born inside the Suwasaria ambulance on this day 3 years ago. Suwasaria ambulance service also marked its 3rd year today. One night my wife started getting pains unexpectedly. Our village is in a very remote area. A vehicle cannot reach it, but Suwasaria reached our village within 10 to 15 minutes. It was a rainy day. Our son was born inside the ambulance. Not only him, my daughter was also born inside the ambulance unexpectedly on the 28th of August 2018. So far, we have directed Suwasaria ambulance to 240,801 emergencies. When the service was launched, we said that it would be a guardian angel that lights up the dark nights. Looking at the staff of the Suwasaria service who carry out this service, I gladly use the word guardian angel.
මන පාවිච්චි කරන සුදුසුයි කියලා මේ අවස්ථාවේදී කියන්න කැමතියි. අපි කාර්යාල 300 අපේ ටීම් එකට අපි හදන්න පටන් අරගෙන තියෙනවා.
මේ තියෙන ප්‍රසිද්ධියත් එක්ක ඔබට දැන් ජනාධිපති අපේක්ෂකත්වය ඉල්ලන්න කියලා කිව්වොත් මොකද කියන්නේ?
ඒවට තව කල් තියෙනවනේ.